Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on the Switch Beauty new makeup brush set. Now I've had this for about almost a month, maybe 3 weeks actually, and I finally got around to filming a look from start to finish on me using all these brushes, and in between the processes I sort of add my 2 cents worth into what I think of these brushes. So yeah, then I also created this look right here, and I did this using one palette, which is the NYX Ultimate Basics Warm Neutrals palette, just to create this look. And yeah guys, so let's start this video. Hi guys, okay, I've done my eyebrows, I've color corrected my face, as well as primed and moisturized and all the rest. So first we're going to move on to foundation. So for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild foundation mixed with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. So to apply my foundation, I'm going to be using this brush from Switch Beauty, and it's just a dense brush, and it's sort of cut at an angle, so it goes on in an angle. Now I was a little bit confused between this one and this one and this one. I'm not actually sure which is the foundation brush. It could very well be either of these. I'm not entirely sure, because I think this is actually the contour one and this might be the foundation one. Let's see. Okay, so I think this is the foundation brush, because I'm actually on their website right now, and the flat top brush, this brush is your best friend when it comes to applying any liquid foundation. Use dabbing or tapping motions in conjunction with sweeping motions. So this one right here is the foundation brush, and the other one that I was a little bit confused with, which is this one here, the angled one, and this is great for blending out contour and applying concealer underneath the eye. This one it is. Okay, so now that I've got my foundation on, I am going in with the Switch Beauty foundation brush, and let's see how this works. It's so white and clean, I don't really want to mess it up, but let's go. So it's distributing the foundation quite nicely. Just run it down my neck. Okay, so looking at the foundation application with the brush, it's really not bad. It's applied the foundation and spread it quite nicely. It does, I think, because of the way the brush is sort of shaped, it doesn't, I wouldn't say distribute it evenly. It just, like sort of the strokes maybe when applying it didn't really give the same consistent coverage, but that's not really an issue, because you can always go in with a sponge, which I do anyway, and just like even that out with a sponge. But it doesn't leave any streak marks from the brush bristles, which is quite nice. It's actually really not bad. It really is not bad at all with the application of the foundation. Okay, so we're going to move on to concealer, and for concealer I'm going to be using these two right here, and I'm just going to start by applying them just on my under eye, a bit here, and just a little here down my. Then I just like to mix these two shades. One's lighter, one's about my skin tone. Okay, and then next I'm going to take the angled brush and I'm going to blend this out with the angled brush. I'm just going to do here first just to see how it works. I feel like I'm going to blend the under eye ones out with my blending sponge. I actually, it's not bad, like the brush isn't bad for the concealer. However, I think maybe I'd rather use it for the contour. I don't know yet if I would use it for cream products, or maybe it's a special certain kind of cream product that would work a little bit better for, but I guess you'll have to just test it out. So for contour, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toast as my contour. I really want to try that brush out with cream products. So I'm going to just use this to contour with. But I think this will work better if you're sort of dipping it into a cream product rather than applying the cream product to your face and trying to blend it out. But let's just see. Okay, so it did blend that out quite nicely. Then let's just see with this. Yes, okay. That blends out beautifully. It's so beautiful with this. Okay. That works. So I prefer this more for the contour than I do the concealer, because this blends out the cream contour beautifully. Although I am 7 years overdue for a face wax. Okay, so I just want to set that contour into place, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. With the same brush, I am picking up these two colors right here to set the contour into place. After I've set the contour into place, the next thing I want to do is set my under eyes. So in the Switch Beauty brush collection, there's a brush that is domed just like this. It's so pretty and so domed, and it's beautiful. So I'm going to be using this brush right here to set the under eye. I just want to take some of this powder and just run it underneath the contour just to clean it up a little bit more. So I have it like this just to bake a little, and then after I'm done, I'm just going to dust it all away. Now that our skin is all done and complete, we're going to move on to eyes. Now the Switch Beauty range has a few eye brushes to create eye looks. Now I do know there is a lip brush. Let me just find it real quick. Okay, so there's no lip brush, I'm on drugs. So these are all the eye brushes. First off, what I'm going to do, and I have actually used this domed shader brush before. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow, trying my hardest to use the brushes that were in the set. So before we move on to eyeshadow, I'm just gonna prime my eyelids, and for that I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 20 just to prime my eyelids, and then I'll be back for the eyeshadow. So for today's eye look, I'm going to be using the NYX Ultimate the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette, and this is in the warm neutrals. So if you open it, this is what it looks like. There are some beautiful shades. I think just from this one palette you can create like an entire eye look. This will be the only palette you need, because there's shimmers, there's mattes, and you have transition colors, highlight shades, so it's quite beautiful. So first of all, I'm just going to set this concealer into place using this shade right there. That I'm actually using one of my mermaid brushes just to set that into place. This definer sort of crease brush, it's good. However, this is literally if you want that defined look. It's not going to really give you much room to blend out true shadow, to like diffuse it. This is literally very precise. It's going to make your eyeshadow very concentrated in the areas that you put it in. You can still blend it out by changing the motion in which you put your eyeshadow down, but yeah, I think it's just good to know that it is quite stiff, it is quite precise, so you might not get the diffused look that you'd want. You just have to work with this brush just a little bit more. So next we're just going to swap over to this shade here with the same brush, and also just blend that into the crease a little bit more. So as you can see, I'm placing it, but I'm also going in circular motions just to get this brush to work for me a little bit, and to allow me to blend out the shadow a little bit better. This will be perfect if you know you want a more controlled application of your shadow, and you want your shadow to be sort of quite stark in the area that you put it in. It doesn't allow much leeway for blending and smoking out the shadow, so you just have to keep that in mind. However, it's not like you cannot achieve the smoked out look, it's just a little bit more work. Okay, moving on, we are swapping brushes. For this we are using the we are using the flat shader brush. It looks like this. So these handles just feel so luxe. And for that I'm going to be using the shade right there, and I'm going to be placing this onto my eyelid. It packs this on quite nicely. It packs the shadow on quite well. It also allows you to blend into the crease as well, because the top sort of this flat portion of it is quite dense, so it really allows you to get up in there. Okay, so now that we have raccoon eyes, I just want to highlight the inner corners just a little bit. So I'm taking this shimmery gold shade right here, and I'm going to place that on into my inner corners. Okay guys, so I decided to put my lashes on as well as coat my bottom lash line and put on some lipstick, and what I'm using is the MICH Matte Hues liquid lipstick in the shade Doting. So now let's move on to highlighter. So I in the Switch Beauty brush collection, they do give you a fan brush as well that comes in a little sort of plastic thing like this so that it keeps its shape, but mine is a little bit bent. For highlight, I'm going to be using the Mary Luminizer highlighter, just pretty like that. Okay, so let's give this brush a try. Okay, so this brush is quite nice because it doesn't pick up large amounts of the highlighter. It picks up quite a decent amount of the highlighter, and you can just obviously build it up as you deem fit. Now they used to be pretty and white and clean and new until my face got a hold of them. There are 10 brushes in the collection, so it's ultimately 5 face brushes and 5 eye brushes. It's wooden, so it's a white sleek sort of wooden handle, and this rose gold just top piece here, and written on the brush it just says Switch Beauty. And some of the brushes that have sort of a special shape, such as the highlighter brush and the domed sort of setting brush, come packed like so that they keep their shape, which is really nice. And you can, when you store them, you can always store them back exactly the way they came. Brushes retail for 350 Rand for all 10 of the brushes. The only downside I would see, these look beautiful, these are stunning, but brushes are meant to be used, and touching your foundation, touching your makeup, then touching these gorgeous brushes, I don't anticipate this staying white and clean and as pretty for a very long time. But I mean, there's nothing soap and water can't clean. Also, just another tip, when you are washing these brushes, guys, do not let wooden brushes soak. They will not last. Wooden brushes should not be left in water for an extended period of time. Take your brushes, wash them, get them dry. Do not let wooden brushes soak. Okay? So anyway, what would have been a nice touch if just directly under where it says Switch Beauty, if they told you what the brush was for, just makes life a little bit easier, so you don't want to sit there like trying to figure out what's going on with your brushes. Like for instance, they could have had cream contour brush or foundation brush or blush type brush, you know, just like added to the labeling of the brushes. That would have made it a little bit easier to sort of work with. But I mean, again, I think once you've learned them, once you've used them for a bit, they won't be as confusing later on. So guys, that's my 2 cents on the Switch Beauty brushes. I really do like them. They're good quality, and it's great value for money as well. So I would seriously give them a thumbs up. Anyway guys, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video and this mini makeup tutorial using these brushes. Until next time, bye guys.